The Vorthak had made their first mistake when they assumed humans would break like glass under pressure. Their second mistake was thinking silence could crush a species that had turned screaming into art. Commander Elena Vasquez floated in the observation deck of the Resilience, watching the alien fleet maintain its perfect suffocating formation around Earth. For 3 months, the crystalline ships had hung there like frozen tears, broadcasting nothing but void deep quiet. No demands, no threats, just the terrible weight of anticipation. The psychological warfare was elegant in its simplicity. The Vorthak had studied humanity's broadcasts for decades before revealing themselves. They knew humans feared the unknown, thrived on communication, and withered in isolation. So they had come with the cruelest weapon imaginable: absolute silence. No radio chatter leaked from their ships. No energy signatures betrayed their intentions. Even their vessels seemed to absorb light, creating patches of nothingness against the starfield. Earth's governments had tried everything: diplomatic channels, mathematical sequences, even nuclear demonstrations. The aliens responded to none of it, simply hanging there like a held breath, waiting for humanity to suffocate on its own anxiety. And it was working. Suicide rates had tripled. Stock markets had collapsed into anarchy. Religious movements proclaimed the end times while scientists retreated into laboratories, frantically searching for weapons that might pierce those impenetrable hulls. The United Earth Defense Force had been reduced to helpless observation, their most advanced warships looking like toys beside the alien monoliths. Elena pressed her palm against the viewport, feeling the subtle vibration of the ship's engines through the metal. Music had always been her refuge, but even the most stirring symphonies felt hollow now, swallowed by the vast quiet the aliens had brought. She hummed unconsciously, an old lullaby her grandmother had sung in Spanish, then English, then the broken mixture that happened when cultures collided and created something new. "Commander?" Lieutenant Chen's voice crackled through her earpiece. "We're receiving something unusual on all frequencies." Elena pushed off from the window, floating toward the bridge with practiced grace. "Define unusual." "It's coming from Earth, multiple sources, thousands of them actually." The bridge buzzed with controlled chaos as Elena secured herself in the command chair. The main screen showed a cascade of data streams, radio frequencies lighting up like a Christmas tree after months of carefully rationed communications. "What am I looking at?" Elena asked. Chen manipulated the display, isolating individual streams. "Music, Commander." It started small, a few amateur radio operators, then streaming platforms, then entire broadcast networks. It's spreading across every frequency band. Elena listened as Chen patched through the audio. A children's choir from New Zealand singing traditional Maori songs. A jazz quartet from New Orleans, improvising something that sounded like hope given melody. An elderly man in Pakistan playing a sitar with fingers that remembered partition and independence. A teenager in Lagos mixing Afrobeat with synthesizers, creating rhythms that pulsed with defiance. "They're not coordinating," reported Ensign Martinez from Communications. "No central command, no organized effort. It's just happening." Elena closed her eyes and let the cacophony wash over her. It wasn't harmonious. Dozens of languages, hundreds of instruments, thousands of voices creating a beautiful, chaotic mess. But there was something else underneath it all, a pattern that made her chest tighten with unexpected emotion. "Amplify. Culture," she ordered. "Broadcast everything on all emergency channels." "Commander, that violates—" "Do it." The Resilience became a relay point, gathering the musical uprising from Earth and hurling it into space with enough power to reach the outer colonies. Other ships in the fleet hesitated, then began doing the same. Soon every human vessel was singing. Elena watched the Vorthak ships on her tactical display, waiting for some reaction. For long minutes nothing changed. Then, almost imperceptibly, the perfect formation began to shift. "They're moving," Chen whispered. The crystalline vessels drifted apart like startled fish, their precise geometry dissolving into something that looked almost curious. Elena felt a wild idea forming, born from desperation and the strange, human refusal to surrender. "Open a channel," she commanded. "All frequencies, maximum broadcast power." She cleared her throat, aware that millions might be listening. Then she began to sing. Not the lullaby this time, but something older. Something that had sustained her people through conquest and slavery and resurrection. Her voice cracked on the first notes, rusty from disuse. But it grew stronger as other voices joined her. First Lieutenant Chen, humming in Mandarin. Then Martinez, adding a Puerto Rican folk melody that wove through the original tune like a stream finding the ocean. Throughout the ship, throughout the fleet, throughout human space, voices joined the impossible choir. The Vorthak ships convulsed. Energy readings spiked as their perfect silence shattered against the wall of human song. Elena watched in amazement as the alien vessels began to emit sound. Not music, but something like it. Mathematical sequences that twisted into harmonics, creating melodies that hurt to hear but somehow belonged. The realization hit her like a physical blow. "They're not trying to conquer us," she breathed. "They're trying to understand us." The music continued, human voices teaching alien mathematics to dance, showing them that chaos could be beautiful, that imperfection was where art lived. The Vorthak had come expecting to find another logical species, one that would respond to silence with fear. Instead, they had discovered something unprecedented, a people who could transform suffering into song. Hours passed before the music finally faded, leaving only the normal sounds of space, engine hums, life support systems, the whisper of cosmic radiation. But the silence was different now, pregnant with possibility rather than threat. When the Vorthak finally spoke, their message was simple, broadcast in perfectly synthesized human languages. "Teach us." Elena smiled, floating before the viewport as the alien ships arranged themselves in new patterns. Not the rigid geometry of war, but the flowing formations of a choir preparing to learn harmony. Humanity had faced the void and filled it with music. Now they would teach the stars themselves to sing. In the end, that's what humans did. They took the silence meant to break them and turned it into the first note of something magnificent.